go. You're right in time for.
The baby's just in time.
Everyone knows that everyone comes a little bit late. That's why we started the Dvar Torah. That's not true. We started the Dvar Torah so that people will come on time.
The most of the Bedichas says that people come on time.
Good. Check that box. Parshas Re'eh, the Shabbos, contains the mitzvah of Meiser Sheni. Meiser Sheni meant that it was a special kind of Meiser that you were supposed to bring with you. It was a Meiser that you give back to yourself. It's a Meiser that you bring with you to Yerushalayim and consume it there. So it's a Meiser you put aside and it's for you, but it's not for you anywhere. It's specifically for you in Yerushalayim. And if it was difficult to schlep your Meiser over, you could transfer the value of the Meiser to money, take that money to Yerushalayim, and then buy yourself a shawarma or falafel there. What's the purpose of the mitzvah? The Torah says, "Leman tilmad lira et Hashem Elokecha." It's in order to increase your shamayim. So I don't know. Like, I enjoy a good shawarma. I enjoy a good falafel as much as the next guy. But how could that possibly be that the point of this mitzvah, Meiser Sheni, is in order to increase your shamayim? So Sefer Chinuch explains very succinctly. You live in, the far north Galil, or you live in the Negev, or you live, you're schlepping over all the way to Yerushalayim. You're bringing a lot of stuff with you. You're gonna plots down there. You're gonna bring a couple korbanos. You're gonna go into the marketplace. You're gonna spend a couple weeks there. You're gonna spend a couple weeks in Yerushalayim. You're gonna spend a couple weeks around the Kohanim and the people who live in Yerushalayim and around the Tzaddikim and the Talmid Chacham. You're gonna see the Sanhedrin. You're gonna walk around. You're gonna take a tour. You're gonna be in Yerushalayim for 2 weeks. That's gonna increase your shamayim. Just choosing to be in that environment, to be around there. It's not just about eating the shawarma. It's about the entire experience, the atmosphere, the environment that you're choosing to put yourself into. That's going to increase your shamayim tangentially, not tangentially. It's not the right word, but meaning it's not the ma'isa of eating the shawarma itself or the Meiser Sheni. It's the entire atmosphere, the sviva that you're entering yourself into. And I think that's a nice thing to think about as we continue to grow this chevra, the series, this people that we're seeing week after week. There's a lot of ways you could spend your Tuesday nights, and there's a lot of people that you can learn. You can hear lightning talks from and learn little tidbits about advancing your professional understanding of various pieces of coding and software development, but we're doing it in an environment where it used to be the only meetup with a Mariv. Now it's a meetup that starts with the Dvar Torah. I think that's very, we can't do Meiser Sheni anymore, but we can think about how to increase Meiser Sheni in our lives. We should always be looking for opportunities to give Meiser Bechlal. The Meiser Sheni bit, though, is the part that comes back to ourselves, is how we choose to spend our time and who do we spend it with, the chulei. So I think it's nice that this continues to grow. I'd like to make a last final plug for those of you who know someone who's not a software developer. I know, it's crazy, but is otherwise unzer, not a software developer, but unzer in the other senses of the word. Our own Rafael Huseman is starting a 3-part series tomorrow night, bit.ly/ND Rocks, for next door Rocks for Jocks, ND Rocks, a Rocks for Jocks style course for non-software developers. Give your friends, your clients, your out-of-touch contacts the opportunity to have some Meiser Sheni in their lives. Want to turn the mic over to Chaim Moshe Stern, who is gracing us tonight.
Hi, thank you. When I was asked what topic to talk, there's a lot of selections, but I thought about Electron, and the reason why I thought about Electron is because I have a lot of people that we meet a lot in meetups and stuff like that, and whatever topic it is, everybody knows. It comes to desktop, and it comes to different frameworks and different things that programmers use. Everybody knows basically what's out there, but the question is just, okay, I'm using this, I'm using that, I like that better. Electron, most of the time when I mention it to people, the question that I get is, what is it all? What is it? People don't even know about it. And I was thinking that it's such a useful tool. It's just worth it to at least introduce it. If somebody is using it already or knows all about it, then hope it won't be too boring for you. But for the rest of us, I believe it's at least good to know about it, and I'm almost sure that anybody that's doing web work will find some use in the long run. At least it's good to know that it exists, and it's used by so many companies, and it's very new. It's not like all these frameworks and whatever that is years, like 10, 20 years old and they built. It's pretty new, 5 or 10 years since it started, and it just in the last few years started to get pretty popular. So what I would like to go over today, I doubt I'll get through the whole thing, is the basic introduction, what it's all about, what it can be used for, and how to get started, what's possible to do with Electron, and common use cases. And I won't get to cover everything because there's way more that you can do, but I'll try to get through the basics at least to show what's possible. I have a lot of times people ask me, what can you do with Electron? And instead of me explaining everything again and again, now hopefully I'll be able to point to a video. Here it is. And you'll be able to see exactly what it's all about. So just want to confirm, you hear me well? Everything's good? Yeah, okay, great. What is Electron? So first of all, they have done a great job. So I started putting together a presentation. I realized pretty quickly, I'll just show it over here. They have a beautiful website with everything about it. So instead of me starting to explain from scratch, there's just their website. And in 2 words, it's just a cross-platform desktop container for JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I usually
You want to share your screen?
Oh, it's not showing it? I share my screen. It's not showing it for some reason. Let's throw it again. You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start it again. Here's what is Electron. And so here's their website. And of course, they have documentation, everything that a regular framework should have. And so basically, why should you use Electron? Electron is basically meant, you take, let's say, a lot of people have the skills to write HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you can take that skills and make from it a regular desktop application. So think of WPF, think of any desktop software that you would use in a regular company. I'll just show soon a nice few companies that took an existing web application and made it fully towards desktop. And there's a lot of benefits of doing that. Like, for example, you can use it offline. So usually you go to Chrome and everything. There is some sort of offline already built into Chrome, but it's not like Electron would give you, that you have everything is local, and you could do it online, but you can fully have it as a desktop application. You can use, that's something that I really like. You can use the latest JavaScript, the latest CSS features. And the way Electron works is that it's just a container around Google Chrome. So you take basically Google Chrome, you get your own copy of Google Chrome on the user's computer, and it doesn't look like Google Chrome because you get your own window. But because you have the Google Chrome, you control the updates, you can make sure that the user's in the latest version. You don't have to think about, okay, I have to make it work on Firefox, I have to make it work on Internet Explorer, all these stuff. And you don't even have to worry about an older version of Chrome, because you write the code to the latest version of Google Chrome, and it just works because you deploy it together with your code, the whole Google Chrome basically. So it makes it no polyfills, no all these things that you have to do to make backwards compatible code is not needed in this case. You can also take advantage of a lot of different libraries that already exist. Let's say you're writing a desktop application right now. I'm just going to give one example that I had a hard time with, just to put in a simple GIF in WPF and a lot of different simple stuff that in the web is just nothing. For some reason, they didn't work it out as well. A lot of different things that, again, it's doable. Everything is doable, but a lot of things are the community has already written in CSS and HTML and JavaScript. And if you can just take that code and get it right into HTML, into your desktop application, as a desktop application, it sometimes could be a real consideration to use it instead of any other platform. It's open source, so you can read the code. Obviously, it's you can contribute. It's cross-platform, and it also has full access to Node.js. I'll demonstrate it very soon, which gives you access. Usually, you use Chrome. You get a sandbox environment. You're locked into to use only whatever the browser allows you to use. You want to use the camera, you have to ask permission. Forget about getting the file system. They control how much memory you can use and how much storage you can store. I recently hit and I wanted to save something on the local computer, and the local storage was just filled up and I couldn't use it, and I had to start saving it on the server and stuff like that. And here I can just save it on disk, and you can control which URLs the user can open and navigate and much more stuff like that. So let's just move right in, see what type of companies are using it. So first of all, this is the few big ones that if you don't know that Electron exists, you won't even know that it's written with HTML, and it's just a regular website technically with just a wrapper. QuickBooks Online, not the regular QuickBooks. QuickBooks Online, Postman, and Slack. Also, their app is technically just their website with a nice container, and they ship it as a regular desktop application. And if you don't know that it's Electron, you won't even notice it. And Visual Studio Code is for me the biggest because it's, I'll just show it over here. Let's go over here. I can go to any window, but basically whoever didn't see this, it's a full featured IDE with everything, terminal built in and everything you can think of basically. It's all part of, it's all Electron basically. It's just an Electron window, and it doesn't look like, if you would tell me that this is Google Chrome run, it's not Google actually, it's Chromium, it's the engine behind Google Chrome. But if you would tell me that this is running through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it would be, you know, you won't believe it. But unless you know how that Electron exists, there's full of plugins, a whole store, and everything is powered by Electron. And if you go onto their website, they have, let's see if I can open it over here. They have many, many more apps that are using it. And obviously, this is not all of it because I myself have written already apps in the past, and it's not here. And there's obviously many, many more. It's open source, so it's hard to get all of it, but that's basically it. So it's also used, everybody knows it's used by WhatsApp, Twitch, Slack, and a lot of other let's say WhatsApp, for example. They had everybody knew of WhatsApp Online. They made this thing that you can pair your phone. They announced it like 2 years ago, if I'm not wrong, and you were able to take you were able to have WhatsApp online. And then they introduced, it wasn't the best experience because it didn't do the best of a job, but they basically made it work in a desktop application. And then all they did is they didn't do a lot of code. When I saw it, I right away spotted that, oh, this must be Electron, because they just took the website, wrapped it up in a desktop application, and all of a sudden they have a desktop application. So in some cases, it makes a lot of sense to do it. In some cases, not. Obviously, I feel it happens to be in WhatsApp's case, they could have done a better job, but in WhatsApp happens to be, it's really fully online. But in a lot of cases, once you take the code offline, you don't even need access to online. So it could give you a lot of power. You obviously need some knowledge in how Node.js works, NPM, package manager, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it's very important to know the full text of lorem ipsum by heart. So whoever doesn't know that, I'm just kidding. Anyways, how to get started. Let me just start here a new, I'm using Visual Studio Code. It's just the easiest for me to get started. I'll open a new folder here. Let's make, call it demo Electron. Okay, so I'll select this folder. I'm getting a brand new project, and I'll open up the terminal over here. Now, I'll just put it side by side over here so it's easier to follow along. So basically, I have here all the steps. I'll try to put it maybe on Slack or somewhere. So if anybody wants to follow the slides or just to try it out, it should be easy to get started if anybody wants to follow the steps. But basically, I'll just show it from scratch. So I'm just starting with an empty folder. There's nothing in there. Just going to go npm init, basically to start up a brand new project. Just going to take all the defaults, except one thing that I always like to put, which is the author. And that's it. Now I got my package.json file. And I'm ready to get moving here. So I'm just going to copy this thing. This is basically the npm package of Electron. And let's see which one it is here. So I'm just going to paste it in. This is actually taking my file. I don't like to put on to install stuff npm while I do a demo because it takes long, but fortunately for me, it's pretty quickly. I don't know if it's my internet or the computer or all of it, but or maybe it's Electron, but it's pretty quick. Everything is in, and I can get started over here. So in order to get started, obviously I have to make one JavaScript file that should tell them what to do when I start. So I'll just go here, main.js. This is going to be the main thing that's going to start up. And I'm going to go to the package.json and just say that I'm going to start up main.js whenever I start up to run the default package. So once I do that, I'm going to just go here to Electron because they provide excellent documentation how to get started. And I'm just going to copy the most basic code. So here it is. And I'm just going to go here to my main.js, paste this in, and this is the most basic version. I'm going to comment this out for a second. I'll get to that. But this is the most basic version of Electron you could get. Now, he's going to try to load a file called index.html, which I did not do right now. So for now, I'm just going to go here. I'm going to put in instead load URL, and I'll put here in Google. So google.com, and that's it. So that's all I need. I create a window. I can say a lot of different things, and that's it. Get started. So I'm just gonna go here, npm start. Now, before I start it, I actually have to specify what the npm starting script would do. So you can actually start it without it, but I find it easier this way. So I'll just go here, Electron dot is the current folder, and Electron is the thing that the package that I want to start, and that's it. So with that amount of work, I have here the most basic version of Electron. It loaded Google Chrome. It does not look like a Chrome browser. It looks more like it's actually loading Google, but it could load any website technically. And it's my own application. Now, everything that's over here in this window could be customized. I can customize the header. I can customize if I want the toolbar. I can customize the tooltip. I can customize the icon. I can customize how it should be opened and the whole thing. But just the concept, this is what Electron is all about. Basically, it's taking a browser, it is Google Chrome, and I'll just show that it's Google Chrome. I'll just go Control-Shift-I, which is opening the developer tools. So this, everybody knows that. This is the most useful thing for me from the whole Electron, that you can get the developer tools and it's deployed together with your application. You have any issue, you go into the console, you go into the network, everything is here. I can go here, I can go, let's just do a reload, and everything is here. It's google.com and everything. It's a regular application, but it's not just a regular application. It has some special features to it. So I'll just close them down a second, and I'll open up my next step over here, which is right here, the node integration. So there is, by default, it used to be, I remember when I started, Electron used to be basically no security, not much at least. You were able to do anything right from within the window and everything. Obviously, some people started to take advantage of it. So for now, they started to put some flags to basically to control if you really want to enable that much openness. I'll just show, I'll demonstrate what I mean. First, so in order for me to get access to more privileges, I'll have to just put node integration. And there's another one over here. And that's what I really like about the general Visual Studio Code and the whole documentation over here, that I don't have to look up too much documentation on the website. It's all here. If I just go Control Space, it suggests me all the possible properties. And this is basically all the properties that exist on this web references. I can go, let's say, on the window. This is all the properties that are available on the window. It's all right here. I can say the X and Y where it should open the window and title of the window. Full of different options over here. Anyways, I'll just turn on one more thing over here, which is allow running insecure content. Insecure content, in 2 words, is basically what every Windows application has. It has access to your drive. It has access to all kinds of things because, and if you wrote your own website, you really want, if you load a third-party website, you wouldn't want the third-party website to be able to run any computer, any code. But if it's your own website, you might want to have more privileges. So I'll just set it to true. And once I do that, and I'll just start up again. Now what happens is he's going to load again google.com because that's what I loaded, but I can go now open up the developer console. I just did the regular Control-Shift-I. You can obviously override all the keyboard shortcuts. You have full control. And I'll just go to the console, and I want to show here, if I'll go here, _ dir name, this is something from Node.js. This is not something in Google Chrome. Any web developer knows that this doesn't exist in Chrome. This is something that basically shows you that Electron has full access to the actual hard drive. And I'll just show one more example over here. And again, everything is here in the presentation. Basically, right here, here. So if I go here again, I can just go require. Require is the Node way of getting packages, basically. And OS is one of the system packages. And I call the function called user info, and I get back the home directory of the user, the username, which it's, as far as I know, you can't get the username within a regular browser. You can get, and not only that, you can really get anything. If you go, you can use any Node package. So you can go whatever Node provides, you should be able to have over here. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do. I'll just show, I want to go a little bit more first with the basic options. Let's say I start writing my application and I would like to, let's say in my application, I want to load, let's say, a certain application, even if it's online. It doesn't have to be offline. It could be a regular website. Let's say I want that when it loads, I want to be able to have a button, that this button maximizes the whole window. I can go here, require Electron, which is just going to give me an object which has everything that Electron has to offer in it. And let's say, I'll just make here a quick variable called, let's get this here and this here. Okay, this over here. Okay, okay. So now I can go here and make here a window. I wish I can zoom this in, but I guess I can't. There is actually here a zoom in, but I don't think it would work too well on the console over here.
You do Control plus. When you're in the console, it should zoom in.
Let's see. Here we go. Okay, is that better? Okay. So anyway, this is the window. Now I have access to the actual window of basically the outside window. In Google Chrome, you get access usually to your own tab. You don't get access to the actual window. But here, because you're an Electron, it's like your own copy of Chrome. You get much more access. Now, to be honest, I have written the same thing before Electron existed, but it was a lot of code and a lot of bugs. It's very hard to get it right, to get raw Chromium to work. I'll just give one example over here of many examples that it comes out of the box. Let's say I want to write a kiosk app. I just go to this window as it is, and I go set kiosk true, and all of a sudden my app is now in kiosk mode. So that's it. I have now a fully configured kiosk app without needing to do much. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. So this is basically, it's a fully locked down. I don't have to handle the keyboard shortcuts and all kinds of things like that. Even this menu on top, if I want, I can turn it off. I can customize every option. I can do whatever I want. But I'll just go back quickly to the developer. I'll turn it back on, and I'll go here and set it to false. and I'm out of kiosk mode, back to whatever I was before. Let's say I don't want the user to be able to maximize this maximize over here. I can go here and set maximizable to false. And now this thing is disabled. And obviously I can turn it back on if I want by just going true. And I can also obviously maximize the window. And this thing is, I can write some code to make it work programmatically through, I can make the sign button, let's say, to do stuff with the window, close, open. Let's say I want to just close the application when the user finishes. In Google Chrome, obviously you can't control when the user could not close the window. But here I could do it. I can just go window.close or closable if I don't want it allowed to close it. W.close, finish, it's closed. Anyways, this is the basics of the window. There's obviously way more options over here. Opacity always on top, and all the basic stuff that you expect from a desktop application is all here. The icon and all kinds of different stuff. You can also have multiple windows. I doubt I'll get to demonstrate all of it, but the window is not Electron really. Electron is running without a window. And I'm just saying that when he's ready, he's going to create a first window, but you can definitely create more and more windows, and you can even close the windows, and Electron would continue running until you tell him to quit. Anyways, the documentation really, I'm not going to get to everything, but here's their documentation. It's very good. Let's say, I'll just give one example. Let's say you want to write a notification. You could just copy this code. It's pretty simple. Usually, I don't know, I keep reading Microsoft documentation, and you have to really be a genius to figure out what the actual code to do is. For some reason over here, I don't have these challenges. I'll just pop it right back up. And I'm going here in the console, by the way. You don't have to. You can just write all of this in your regular JavaScript code, and it will just work. I can give her a notification. And here it is. It popped up a regular Windows notification. They have a lot of native capabilities. Actually, notification, there's some stuff that the browsers are starting to adapt, but here you know for sure that it's going to work because you're writing code against the framework directly. Obviously, it's opening up very small. I can just change. Let's say I wanted to open up in 1200. 1200 by 1000, just an example. You can even make it full screen, whatever you want, and just gonna do whatever you tell them. Anyways, my Windows resolution is pretty big, so it's, that's why it's not opening up so the full screen. Anyways, I'm trying to rush a little bit because there's just a lot to show. So I just want to show, this is one demo that I think would really demonstrate what kind of use cases you could do with it. Let's say you have an online application and you want to start having it offline. Let's say, let me see if I have it here locally. Let's say Postman even, they have here, I have too much private code over here. I can't really show it, but it opened up another window. Anyways, but it's a full-featured application. Everybody knows it. And it's all basically just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But let me see, I have one example that I actually used a lot in the past, which is lately, Font Awesome's website. Let's see over here. Lately, they upgraded to 5 and now to 6, but and it's hard for me to demonstrate it in 5 because they have way too much icons. But I remember when I was working a few years ago with Font Awesome 4. Font Awesome, in case anybody doesn't know, is just full of icons that you can use in your website. And I had an issue that from time to time they used to go down, and I wanted to search which icons to use, and they were just not online. It happened from time to time, but it's not happening that often anymore. But I remember then I saved the pages locally in my computer. So I was thinking now maybe it would be a good way to demonstrate what you can do with Electron. So you can just go to this page. I wouldn't suggest you doing it with the actual external website. You should do it with your own website that you have the code, but it's just to demonstrate the concept. I can go here, save as. I'm going to save the complete page with all the CSS and everything. And I can save it to this website over here. So I'm just going to go save. I actually saved it already in the past, so it already has it. But just by doing that, now I can go here and I'm going to save I'm going to tell Electron that instead of loading a URL, load a local file. Now, this local file should be, let me see if I have it here because, just a second. I don't want to have to type up the whole path again to that folder. Mm. Just a second here. Okay, so I can't find it, so I'll just do it again. I'll go to my downloads folder and okay, I actually got it. It's right here. So I'll just put in over here the path to the folder. So let's say path equals, and just gonna put in here the folder. Now, for some reason, he wants it always in forward slashes, not in backslashes. But anyways, the file was that I just downloaded was this font as HTML, and I'm just going to tell them load file. Now, you can technically load, if you know from Chrome, you can always load a file by going file / whatever, and you can do the same thing here. This load file is just like a shortcut, so you shouldn't have to do all of that. You just put in the path, and let's see. So I just start up Electron again, and now I'm loading the local file. And here it is. It's basically running locally. I'll just show it. Let's get this big over here. And network. So actually, I'll refresh the page. I'll just do it in the console over here, so it's easier to see. Location.reload. I just wanted the things to come into the console over here. If you look at the tooltip, it's just a local file. So it loaded the local file and it located this related CSS and everything. Chrome was giving me a pretty easy time. He downloaded all the related files and put everything nicely in a folder. And in no time, I have a fully local application. I'm not going to shut down my internet because the conference would disconnect, but this is all local. There's nothing online. I can disconnect and everything would still work.
You can set it to offline in Chrome in the tools.
Yeah, correct. Here, where is it? Offline. And by the way, this is it's stuff that was built by Chromium, everything. You get everything packaged in together with the application. What I really like is when it comes to clients to actually debug these kind of stuff. That I can go, if there's actually an issue, I can go into the console and see everything that's going on and right away debug. And also another thing, I remember before we actually had a big application that we wrote, and customers used to call in that they couldn't read their Gmail. They had an issue with Gmail or something else, and they used to call us. Why? Because we had one tab and they had the next tab. And most customers are enough smart not to do that kind of garbage, but we had some customers that they couldn't understand. It's the same window, it's the same thing. So the idea that you get your own window, that by itself, a lot of times could make a real difference. And we had a big demand to change the window, to change the thing. Now, I just want to show regarding locally, I can refresh the page, but I want to show even more than that. I'm just going to go in over here. I'll get VS Code back open. I'm just going to drag in that HTML file that I just downloaded from Font Awesome's website. And let's say I don't want them to make me crazy every time with version 5. I don't need it. You know, I know that it exists, and I don't want them to prompt me all the time. So I can just go. I have my local copy right now, so I can just go here, and I'm just going to search where it is. It's right here. So this is it, and let me make it a drop bigger over here, so it's easier to see. And I'm just going to locate where the banner is. So I see this div is the banner. I'm just going to go to the whole banner and remove it. So I'm going to save it locally, and I can just refresh the page. And you'll notice it refreshes very quickly because it's just local. So I know when it comes to PWA, there's a lot of things to make things local and cached and should load Quake. There's nothing quicker than it's just on your disk, and there's no cache. I had a lot of issues with PWA that when it was cached, I didn't get the latest version and stuff like that. But here, it's just local on your disk. You can make, as you can see, this banner is gone. I can do whatever changes I want. It's local, and it makes it very, very easy to do updates. By the way, I don't know how much time I still have. I'll try to rush up the rest, but that's, I hope I demonstrated well the use case and the what you can, how easy it is and how quick it is to take an existing website and turn it into a regular desktop application. There's one more step to actually make it into one exe, and you can just send it to any computer. It's basically a full package. It comes you can load external files, obviously. You can load external things. You can embed the files within the package and load it like this. Now, let me just close this down and move on over here. So let's see over here. So there's the options. They have a lot of options about around the menus. Over here, you can control which things to show in the menus on top. Let me see if I can bring it back up a second. Oops. So over here, there's a lot of different things. Obviously, this is one of the first things I take off. They point to their documentation by default, but this whole thing could be customized with a lot of different things. For some reason, I usually like to take it off completely and replace it with my own version. You can even take off the whole window if you want. I had one project that I did it. It was not the best experience but you can remove this whole X and everything. The problem is that if for some reason the page didn't load, it was just blank. There was nothing here, and the user, there was just nothing to see. So I ended up putting it back, but just the tab bar. But if you look here, and you look here, you can see that it's the same thing, but for some reason, with a little bit of work, Visual Studio Code was able to customize from this. They were able to make a completely different theme, and they got it. They've done a pretty good job. And you look at all kinds of different. I can show you another one actually. I put it onto the slide actually. I'm using a headset. I can show it here. From Jabra. It's a headset that just requires some basic updates and a few basic things. And they, for some reason, decided that it's worth to do an Electron application for that. I guess their engineers over there knew best how to do HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, this was never a website because it's meant for desktop. But Electron provides them with all the capabilities and things to communicate with whatever they needed. And it was pretty easy for them to design, I guess, with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And they just used their existing online skills, and they got the web developers to develop this desktop application. Checks for updates for everything, whatever is doing over here. So it's just another, I keep seeing it all over the place. Once you realize that it's out there, you'll see it all over, and I'm sure make good use of it. So that's that. Auto updates is, there is actually a built-in Squirrel. They actually have their own updater. There's Squirrel. There's a few other options for updating. I personally just did my own because it's just so easy to just take the files and just dump it on. I would recommend everybody that's using Electron not to use if you're using a Windows, do not put it in the program files, put it in the program data folder. Program data folder does not need administrative permissions, so it gives you a lot more flexibility. You can update it without asking every time the user for admin rights and stuff like that. It just makes it so much easier to deal with. But there's a lot of different, it could be a whole talk by itself, all the auto update options. There's Squirrel is pretty good, and there's a lot of other ones. Testing also is could be a whole talk by itself, but the bottom line is that you can take all the work that went into all these automation from web testing, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There's a lot of frameworks that do it very good. Started with Selenium and many others, and you can just take all this good frameworks. There's actually, I'm already up to my third testing framework that I'm using. I started with Selenium, wasn't happy with that, and I moved on. There's, as I said, there could be a whole talk just about testing, but the bottom line is that you can get all the automation and testing and everything that's available for a website for your desktop application. It gives you way more options, way more automation, and there's some extra benefits that I really like. First of all, even if you just have a regular website, you can put it online, but just by turning it into Electron, even if it's still a regular website, It gives you the benefits. First of all, you can bypass local storage, so local storage limits. I'm not sure exactly what the limit is, if it's 5 or 10 megabytes per variable or something like that, but I have reached it multiple times, and here I can just load and save files directly from disk. If I'll have time, I'll be able to show it, but I highly doubt it. I'm running out already. But it's pretty easy. You just go to the FS package from Node, and you can just have full access to the disk, write and read whatever you want. So, and also JSON, because it's JavaScript, Node, whatever. I'm used to in .NET or whatever. Every JSON thing, I have to use Newton's of JSON or .NET built-in JSON. It's a whole thing. But when it comes to writing stuff in Chrome or in general in the web, JSON is just built in. JSON.stringify this, JSON.parse, and I can just write files, read files very easily. And even XML, there's a lot of packages ready to go for it. So it basically takes off the whole, it gives you a lot more opportunities and things that web wasn't really able to do until now. Cores is also a big thing for me. If somebody doesn't know what Cores is all about, you're not gonna understand the benefit, but if you ever dealt with the limitations of Cores, Electron has one flag that just turns off cores. You just, with one flag, all of a sudden I had a few times that I had to integrate with external manufacturers, even devices and stuff, even on the same network. And because they didn't include this token, the cores token, I wasn't able to authenticate with these devices. I had to sometimes even send a request to a third-party service to be able to get it to where I wanted it to go and stuff like that. And here with one flag, I was able to get rid of the whole cores. It saved me personally a lot of time and headaches. Chrome autofill is also a pretty good benefit on the side, which I really like. If you ever work with a big business application, you would know that when it comes to the Chrome autofills, it makes you crazy because you have your drop down, and then the Chrome's drop down comes on top of it, tries to suggest their kinds of stuff. And I had a lot of complaints of users that called me in, shut me off this autofill. And there's nothing I can do about it because Google Chrome overlays it on top of what I'm trying to do. And there's nothing I can do about it because it's something that Google really does not want to get rid of it. And here it's just off by default. So it's pretty good. Kiosk mode is also, if you want to do a kiosk application quickly, you want to just have something that's just full screen or whatever, it's a pretty quick and easy way of get it running. And offline also, you can have, this is very, very useful if you have a business application that users are using a lot, and the main consumption is, you just really need the data to be up to date. Let's say you have an endpoint, an API endpoint that you get the data. You can deploy this application with the whole user interface, the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, all local on the computer, in some folder on the computer. And all the user needs to consume really is just the API request. So it gets really, really quick, and you don't have to, it starts up very quick, it loads very quick, and you don't have to, the user doesn't have to wait for all these files to download every time. And obviously, even the data you can also cache. Let's say they have data that you don't mind, it gets updated once a day, once a half a day. That's actually what QuickBooks Online does. They synchronize the data in the background, but you always work with the local data. And basically, even if there's no internet connection or anything like that, you can continue running. When not to use it, it's a lot of times tempting to get excited about something, but there's a lot of different websites that it does not make sense. Like, first of all, if it's just an informational website or a shopping cart website or stuff like that, which it doesn't make sense to ask the user to install an application for that. Obviously, the users are expecting to just go on the website and just do whatever they want. There is still some tools built into Chrome for newer websites that can take advantage of a lot of these features. Let's say a PWA. I'll just show a quick thing here. I'll just go, let me see here. I'll just open up Google Chrome here. I'll go just to the Angular website. I know they have it, but there's obviously many websites that have this. Just this, actually, it takes a few seconds, I think, till it comes up, but it should be, oh, I installed it yesterday, so I don't have it anymore over here. It's basically already installed. It makes it into, where is it? Open, yeah. Basically, it's supposed to come up a small plus button over here, and it makes the whole application also look and feel like it's a separate window. And it's just a few steps that you have to set up to get it into a PW application, provide an icon and a few other things, and sometimes a basic service worker. In my experience, I didn't like it because although I was able to control the cache and stuff like that, there was a lot. It had more issues than just having Electron. I had much more control on what type of browser and everything else. But in certain cases, it does not make sense to use a desktop application. There's still a lot of benefits that can be implemented. Also, I know desktop application notifications and a lot of different things PWA provides. I just want to give a special thank you for everybody. First of all, for Hashem for giving me all the talent. I really like to contribute back. There was so much in the meetups, all the past meetups. There was a lot of nice, good people that I got to meet, and I keep meeting more and more, and it's just makes the whole experience much more enjoyable. I believe Oyun is is the credit for all of it, and I personally want to thank Yitzchak Gottlieb for getting me connected with all of it. Helped me a lot in the past, and always good to get some good advice. And just want to quickly put this in. If somebody wants to get me in contact personally, I have my personal website, which I didn't update in years, but it's still working. And I am project manager at FirstChoice POS. So we're hiring, we're looking for highly talented people. For some reason, we cannot get enough. So if somebody is looking for a job, lives in the Bar Park area, and is looking for his next step, could definitely shoot me an email. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chaim. This is incredibly informative. Do people have questions?
I've got one. Hi. Is there a way for the application to be aware whether it's in like an online mode or an offline mode?
Yeah, sure. That's even within Google Chrome itself, even without Electron, there is actually an API built in that tells you if you're now online or offline. And actually, by me, what I did in one of the applications, actually, I actually provided the user with a control if it should be online mode or offline mode. So what I did is I made, let's just go over here. I did here a very small variable when the page loaded. Let's say I'll put a local storage thing. So local storage that is offline equals true. So what I did is that when I checked when the application loaded, and I always loaded it offline first because it was quicker, but then I was able to right away, based on the user's decision, I was able to then go online. And if I wasn't able to connect online and the user wanted to be online, I showed him some sort of icon at the bottom. But that's already getting a little bit more than this. But Chrome has a basic, I don't remember it by heart, but Chrome has a basic variable that you can just check right away the user's connectivity in one of their APIs. There's a lot of, by the way, it's just good to know, maybe there could be a whole talk for that also. There's a lot of built-in, very, very good APIs. There's just one that I use a lot, and people don't even know that it exists. There's a whole speech synthesis built into Google Chrome. You can, I don't want to go off topic, but there's like full of different APIs and stuff. There's stuff that you wouldn't even dream exists in the browser.
Thank you.
Last question.
I have a question. First of all, thank you for showing us this. It seems like a really useful tool. Can you give us an example of an application that you used Electron and you made it to the desktop? Yeah.
I could. I'll actually show it on right here. I'll first show it. I'll show you the difference between online and offline. So actually we have here, I'm project manager at FirstChoice POS. So we actually have worked a lot to rewrite our application. So we have actually taken the time to rewrite our whole checkout. So this is just a regular desktop application. this is just a desktop application. I'm not going to go into all the details over here, but this is just a website, a regular website. You can do many stuff. We wanted it to have it online and offline, but we didn't stop over here. There's like many things over here going on. It's not possible for me to go into everything now, but just the concept. So this is online, and now offline. We have also a thing here. I'm just going to show it. I'm just going to pop it up straight from the development because I don't want to deploy it right now. So just a second here. 1 second. Wang. Okay, so I'm a developer. I made it should open up a default in the developer mode. 1 second, I'm loading the local stuff over here. Okay, and here it is. So it starts up like this. For me, I made it should do a different type of stuff, but it's just, you can see the same application. This is a website, and I actually got a web designer to design a lot of stuff over here because he didn't even know that this exists. This was just, but you can see that this does not look like a website. And this is just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it does a lot of, there's a lot of actual devices, stuff that's not even possible to do, like actual scale that's connected and stuff like that. That's not even possible to do with a regular website, unless you have all kinds of different services and stuff. But with Electron, a lot of things got way easier. And there's many more projects, but this is just a quick answer for that question.
Thank you. It's really cool. Thank you.
How do you keep your desktop so clean?
Oh, it's just actually a new computer. I keep changing every while. When the Corona started, I started working at home. Because I decided that it's time for an upgrade, and so this is just basically from, I don't know. And actually, right before the talk, I didn't want you to see all my icons, so I made a shtickle cleanup also.
Did you need the allow insecure property in order to access the local drive, or is that just a general flag that allows you to do a lot more insecure?
Oh, so that's a good question. The answer is it depends from where you want to access it. So just think about it. Imagine that you have an Electron application running right here, and you load Font Awesome. For some reason, you go just and you load whatever website, just a public website. You don't want the author from that website should be able to inject code that should run everybody's computer insecure. So that's why this developer console is technically just a part of the web page. So in that level, there's multiple levels in Electron. There's the level of the page, and for demonstration purposes, it was just the easiest way for me to demonstrate it. But then there's another level. Electron has like, as I said, the window is not really Electron. The window is like, the Electron opens up a window. I'll just show here quickly. Let's see where I can get this thing. Yeah, here's the thing here. So I'll just show here. Let's say I have a create window. I can have here, I'll just copy this function, and I'll just call this create window 2, and I'll just dump it in quickly over here. So now I should get, let's make this page to load google.com. So let's say google.com, I don't want to be able to, Google should load. So my local file, I can decide that I allow node integration, I allow insecure content because it's my local file, I know what I put in over there. Well, let's say Google, I don't want Google to be able to run on any, now it's Google, tomorrow could be any other website, because user from Google, you can navigate to any other website. It will be a pretty bad idea if the website would have full access to the drive from the user. It will be heaven for anybody that wants to make some ransom. So I'll just start this right now. Let's stop the previous one and start this. So now I got two windows, one on top of the other. Actually, where's my second one over here? Oh, I didn't save the file. Let's do this again. I can make also different sizes, different layouts. Let me make this only 800. Otherwise, it overlays each other, and you're not going to see it unless I move it. Let's see here. So here it is. So here's this one and this one. They're both running the same application. By the way, if you're ever going to look in Task Manager, Electron is using multiple threads at the same time. So where is it over here? You'll see here, no, it's not Google Chrome, that's something else. You're gonna see it under Electron. There's 4 processes running because by default, each window has 2 processes, one the renderer and one the service worker, and then you have your background Electron and stuff like that. So you'll see multiple processes, especially if you go into the details, you might see even more, but every process has different authorization and permission. So if I'll go now in Google and I'll try to go node, dir name, I'll get this exception because it's not defined. Dir name is not here. Why not? Because I didn't give it node integration. But if I go to my local one, all of a sudden I have dir name. Now Electron has something else. It's called the IPC. You can communicate. It's inter-process communication. In other words, let's say I want this window to communicate with this window back and forth and stuff like that, and I don't want to enable all these global files and whatever. You can communicate through passing basically only specific messages, and you can write it in here basically in the backend. This is like this backend will always have access to everything. This is like, I call it the backend. Really, it's just like basically the application that runs behind all the windows. And if you kill this, everything stops and all the windows stop. And this always has access to everything. You can pass messages like execute me this, execute me that. And here you can have the actual logic. And that's what they actually recommend. And that's why they, by default, do not enable the insecure content, because they want you to use their IPC to send messages more securely. But if it's a local website, I just look at it just like any other Windows website that's secure. And actually Electron, I would definitely advise anybody that's using Electron more than just a basic thing. They have here a whole thing about security, and they keep making updates and breaking changes. They're taking it pretty seriously. And they had stories in the past. They're not doing it for nothing. Go find it right now, but let's see. Here it is. They have a whole section over here. So they have a security checklist. They report issues you can report to them, and they have a whole. One of the things is only load secure content. That's okay, HTTPS. But they also have here node integration. There's also node integration in worker. Let's say even everybody knows there's a service worker that you can pass along content, execute in the background. So you can even say that for the website I'll give, or for the service worker, yes, for this, they give you a lot of control on what security you get and whatnot. There's way more options to go through over here, which if somebody's really using it in production wide scale, I would definitely recommend to at least go through all of it and at least know of the risks you're taking by enabling whatever the options are.
Thank you.